Today's AskReddit post. How do people in your life say I love you without saying I love you? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. Asian household. Did you eat yet? Edit. I love seeing how many other cultures this is a part of. I feel like people sometimes take for granted the act of someone cooking for them, or even caring if they've been fed. Food is so important to so many cultures, and I love seeing how it's important to you all too. Also, when Asian moms bring cut up fruit to your room while you're studying. Not Asian, but as an African I can relate. When they encourage you to continue your story after the conversation gets sidetracked. Honestly, this is what made me fall in love with my boyfriend. We were talking once, and in the middle of the conversation, we got interrupted by a friend of his who started chatting to him profusely. Public place. She ran into us basically and struck up a convo for like an hour. When she left, he went straight back to asking me about what I was talking about. Might seem like a silly thing, but not for me. That meant so much. I still think about it, and it's nearly been 3 years. I see you're drinking 1%. Is that cause you think you're fat? Cause you're not. You could be drinking whole if you wanted to. Anyway, you left all your crap on my porch. I have it in my locker. You should probably come get it, cause I can't fit my nunchucks in there anymore. My favorite animal is a liger. Me and my brother have had a bit of an awkward relationship. Since he's very quiet and I'm not that good with words, I never knew how he felt about me coming out as transgender. Until my dad told me recently that when I first came out, my brother was the only one of my siblings who routinely corrected my dad when he accidentally said the wrong name or pronouns. We don't talk much and don't say I love you out loud a lot, but I'll never doubt that he loves me from the acceptance I got from him, even when I wasn't around. This is so wholesome. Every time I visit my parents, Dad tries to get me drunk and Mum tries to put me into a food coma. Both are very appreciated. My dad's line was always "let's get good and damn drunk lol. Miss that man. Happy cake day." That extra squeeze at the end of the hug, before they let you go. Just hugs in general. I hug all my friends when we get together and when we part ways. Once at Thanksgiving I hugged a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in a while. I had lost 30 pounds since we last saw each other. He hadn't said anything until he hugged me and then was like, "Did you lose weight?" I found the implication that he somehow remembered the feel of our last hug very endearing. Oh, that's really sweet. I'd tell my girlfriend if we ever went to a costume party as Batman and Catwoman, I'd let her be Batman. You secretly just want to be Catwoman, don't you? Always be yourself. Unless you can be Catwoman, then always be Catwoman. My husband always offers me the last soda or the last slice of pizza. He comes up behind me when I'm washing dishes and grabs my butt before wrapping his arms around me. My little boy will randomly give me the greatest hugs and kisses ever. He offers me some of his strawberry milk often and tells me I can have his last bite of food, mostly so he doesn't have to eat it still. My cats jump up into my lap and purr, rubbing all over me and giving me little kitty kisses. And at least one of them will often follow me to the bathroom to keep an eye on me when I'm at my most vulnerable. I love my family. This is such a good thread, OP. Thanks for posting this. It's nice to be reminded of all the little things that make life good, especially when the world has lost its mind and the news is full of anger and sadness. Told my BF I was thinking about buying a bookshelf and he immediately piped up, "I'll make one for you." He reminded me of a puppy fiercely wagging its tail in excitement. That's love. Folks, I love this. I had a boyfriend criticize me for having too many books for my bookshelf. We didn't work out for many reasons, and the night I met my now so he told me that he was a big reader. I asked him what his response to me having too many books for my bookshelf would be, and he said, "Get a bigger bookshelf." About 2 months later he bought me a set of gorgeous second-hand cherry wood floor-to-ceiling bookshelves. I care about you, I support you, I am here for you. Then following through. Most important part. My family says get home safe. We know are safe drivers and stuff. It's more one last. I care about your well-being as we leave, or if they ask to text them after you arrive back home. My oldest son and I have a thing where when out in social situations and he needs reassurance, I simply smile and give him a thumbs up. He suffered from severe social anxiety starting at about 3 years old. This simple thing has given him more confidence and eliminated him having meltdowns in front playmates. He knows that thumbs up means he is okay, doing well, and that I love him. This was so wholesome to read. Thanks. I may not always be the best person, but I always try my hardest when it comes to my children. My little sister thanks me, opens up about how she is feeling to me, and shares her drawings with me. Are you my brother? I can't tell you how much I do this. I feel like I annoy him every time. They say duck you, term of endearment among my friends. The harder the roast, the more the love. My grandmother used to call all of us on our birthdays to sing us happy birthday. She passed away a few years ago, so my mom picked up the tradition. My mom passed away last summer, so this past Wednesday on my birthday my dad, who is a legendarily unemotional guy, called me and sung me happy birthday. Just typing this out got me choked up. That's beautiful. As you wish. That day she was amazed to discover that when he was saying as you wish, what he meant was, I love you. And even more amazing was the day she realized she truly loved him back. Do we have to hear the kissing part? I don't believe this, but my family thinks I have philophobia, fear of love. I have never once said I love you to anybody. I literally can't unless it's something that can't understand or can't speak back to me. So we say elephant shoes or olive juice because when you mouth it, it kinda looks like I love you. This is the best. Depends on who it is. I remember my dad telling his sister that he doesn't just love his kids, he also likes his kids. That was pretty heartwarming. I love my dad, but don't always like him. But I do love him. Whenever I was being a little poop when I was younger, my mom would tell me that she'll always love me, but right now she doesn't like me. My wife says thank you to me for doing things I do anyway, like cutting the grass and taking out the trash. For each of our birthdays my dad cooks us a meal of our choice. He can usually guess what we are going to ask for. Every time we get together he cooks enormous meals. He is also a home mechanic and will ask us about our oil, tire pressure, etc, and if needed check, change, fill, whatever. When my husband and I bought our house, my dad refinished all the hardwood floors and painted every room for us. We could have painted, but he insisted. He is a jack of all trades and always helps us or teaches us in any way he can. My mom sewed every Halloween costume my 5 sisters and I ever had. She is very crafty and always helps us with any project we have. She has us call or text when we get home even as adults. She always made us special birthday cakes that were hand decorated. My family is not shy about saying the words, but we are also very good at showing the love. Hugs. I wish. 2 hearts. Closed fist. The phone actually rings. My friend and I make sure to call each other every day even if we have nothing in particular to chat about. We just leave the call on, doing our own thing, occasionally making a comment or asking a question. 10/10. Love that girl. My mom doesn't have a sweet tooth at all, but mine is raging and untamed. We are quarantining together, and whenever she goes grocery shopping without me, she picks out a sweet treat for me. It makes me so happy because I know that she went out of her way to get me something that I would like. So, I'm the oldest child and as such, I was the guinea pig. So sometimes my mom apologizes for making mistakes when I was growing up. My sister sends me memes. My brother sends me links to sales sometimes. My girlfriend tells me about the adventures she's having in grad school out of state. Unconditional positive regard ran across this definition of love, and it really stuck with me and my partner. Right away we shortened it to UPR. 20 years later it's pretty much the only way we say I love you. Reminding me to take vitamins. Usually, my husband and I will call each other bitch or methodica and say duck you a lot. We're best friends and this is just how we talk and show love. It's when we don't say anything that you know something is wrong. That reminds me of how at the beginning of Supernatural Dean and Sam called each other bitch and jerk. That's actually the best. It's not the regular "I love you." It's something that means something to you too specifically. If I tell my roommate that I'm not feeling well, he immediately interrogates me for specifics and then hands me a pile of carefully selected vitamin supplements. He's a good friend, and honestly, his prescriptions do usually help. Meow. I do not hate you nor have a distaste in you, for in reality, I am pleased by your existence, and X200B, and X200B. I live in the Middle Ages, no biggie. My mom and I developed the habit of shaking our fists at each other to goodnight. Love you. I don't remember how it started, but anyone else who saw us would think we were mad at each other. I casually first bump my dad, generally as a good night or goodbye, but really it means I love you, and I didn't realize that until reading your posts. Stop texting while driving, talk to me when you get home. Stay warm, you really should eat something, call me when you're done with your trip, are you okay? My youngest brother tells me he loves me constantly, but on top of that, he said he trusts me more than mom since she can get angry without letting him finish talking, whereas I listen and try to understand him. Just him saying that made me feel good. Accidentally sending me a box of 64 Rice Krispie treats when I was stuck in another state. She meant to send 16, and they're a guilty pleasure of mine. How about the Lions? Tim Taylor. My mom will text me, you know you're my sunshine boy, right? Yes, that is how it's spelled. Saying shut up when I sneeze or hiccup. I live a few hours away from my parents. When I visit, my dad will sometimes move my car and go fill up the tank for me. Do you want to become a doctor? Broomstick. Did you cook the rice? Did you get into advanced maths? Did you get all A's? They take the time to understand my feelings and needs when we are having an argument. Ich lieb dich. Ich lieb Henschenflugel. Mother nags about everything. Plays 20 questions about my life. Father insults. Plays 20 questions about my life. Brother insults and grunts when poop hits the fan. Anyone, anywhere in Canada, the family will pull together to make sure everyone is okay. A few years ago, my mother has severe complications for surgery. Talked with father that afternoon and he nonchalantly tells me of my mother's condition and how she was filling out her will. I hang up, go to airport, get the hell over there within hours. My mother was so shocked seeing me there, as always all the way across the country, Canada. She teared up, breaking the ice. I made some lewd comment where she immediately stopped tearing and got mad at me for being a vulgar ass in the hospital. We don't need empty words, but no, we will always be there for each other no matter what, and it's implied. For personal relationships, that's another can of worms entirely, as some need to hear you say it when it's likely I haven't said it in decades. I have a little garden in my backyard and I keep giving vegetables to my boyfriend. We just started being able to see each other again, and we were a relatively new couple when the pandemic hit, so I am really overdoing it with the veggies. I made him cheese last weekend too. My little boy kissed my knee that I injured. When a toddler takes forever to find the perfect flower or leaf to give to you as a gift. As someone who has an introvert and shy partner, I realized you don't really need words to say I love you. Here are some examples. Making you some tea when you're sick, without you asking him to. Remembering our anniversary date and taking you to places without telling you, calling you during the day at work just to hear your voice, buying you things you actually need without asking him to or telling him you need it, leaving you cute notes around the house, kissing your forehead and hugging you when you're in a bad mood, cleaning after you and never telling you. Also not during fights. Not because they're afraid to tell you. You know why. Time, care, patience and bondage. My boyfriend will boop my nose sometimes with this goofy grin on his face and I feel so completely loved. Me and my twin do this to each other. It's so cute. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.